Hey, the Thabreakmasta here, and this is gonna be my Blade anime episode 9 review. So yeah, before I jump to this review, I'll say it's another episode. It's very interesting how they just threw this Kikyo guy in here just like that to fit the story just perfectly. I mean, I don't know, it's very interesting how they did all that. So yeah, so basically where we left off from last episode is that Kikyo and Blade are going to be fighting each other. So they start fighting and whatnot. And you start seeing flashbacks of how they trained back then and how the teacher was, trying to get them pointers and just stuff like that, and just trying to teach them life lessons. How the samurai, the people, that's how they always do. You know what I mean? And it always seemed like, it feel like the master, the master that was like teaching Blade and Kikyo, it seemed like he liked Blade more. So I don't know. He always talking to him, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just a little weird to me, but. Yeah, as they kept fighting, more flashbacks kept happening. I won't actually tell you what happened in flashbacks. I want you to watch the episode to see it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so as the fight kept going on, and all that was going on and stuff like that, they showed one of the flashbacks I'll talk about. So one of the flashbacks is where Blade ends up finishing his training, and he goes back to wherever he was trying to go to. And before that was gonna happen, Kikyo wanted to fight him one more time before he left. And Blade's like, I don't want to fight and stuff. And the Master's like, no, you can't fight him right now. And then Kikyo's like, no, I must fight him. I must see how strong I am. I have to be the strongest samurai in the world. So, yeah, so he ends up trying to fight him, and Blade's all dodging his sword and stuff like that. And then Blade ends up picking the sword up, boom, slashing him in the ankles and defeats him just like that. And I was kind of surprised because beforehand, it seemed like you couldn't beat Kikyo like that. So this was very interesting to see, but Kikyo can regenerate, so it's kind of cheap anyway. But yeah, so he ends up beating Kikyo and ends up walking away and trying to tell him some life crap. And yeah, so all that stuff was going on, and there's another flashback to where Kikyo had to end up leaving his master's place because he never wanted to leave him and stuff like that, but he had to, so he had to leave his master's place and stuff, and that's when their master got sick. So we end up seeing the master actually come out because he's supposed to be dead, but he's actually alive and he's a vampire. And it's like, oh man, that sucks. So he starts explaining how he became a vampire and everything like that. Deacon Frost ends up seeing him, and he basically ends up tricking him to go meet him. And he's like, oh my god, it's a trick. And the master's doing really well, but he's sickly, so he don't know what to. So he just ends up coughing up blood and he's not feeling good. And Deacon Frost ends up poning him at the end and ends up choking him and then bites him. He's a vampire now, and it's just like, oh, come on. So basically, his master versus the students. Well, and Kikyo tried to fight him, but for some reason, Kikyo got defeated in 2 seconds. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me because Blade and Kikyo look like they're at the same level. So what the heck happened? But so Kikyo's out of the pictures now. It's Blade versus the master. And then they start fighting and stuff like that, and they're also explaining the moves like Savage Moon. I think the first one Savage Moon, and the other ones I can't remember what the other ones are called, but yeah, there's 3 sets of moves that if you notice in the anime, if you watch it, there's 3 sets of moves or 2 sets of moves you keep always seeing, and it's just so they start doing the moves and stuff like that, and the teacher's beating the crap out of Blade for the most part. And then he ends up, and then we end up seeing 2 of the some Blade moves that Blade usually does, and then there's a third one actually. So the third one ends up getting used on Blade, and Blade ends up looking like he's about to get defeated. But then he's like, no, and he ends up taking the sword out, and then he actually does the pose too, and then he ends up doing the third moon, ends up defeating his master, and then the master's like, I'm glad you were able to defeat me. You were a great pupil. You are my favorite student. I love you. Yeah, he ends up saying something like that, and then boom, he's gone. And then at the end of the episode, we end up seeing Deacon Frost. I was kind of surprised after they killed after Blade killed his master, we don't see Deacon Frost right after, and I'm like, what the heck? So Blade's getting really mad because Blade he's messing with Blade. So he's like, nah, Blade ends up trying to attack him, fails again, gets pwned by Deacon Frost, and this time, instead of taking his blood, he took the whole thing, total package. He took Blade and took him on an airplane, a helicopter, and get the heck out of here. So yeah, and Makoto ended up seeing that helicopter. He's like, oh crap! So she was trying to come back because she was running away, going the other way because she's hurt and stuff. So yeah, so she was trying to go see what Blade's going on, and she was too late, and Blade was already captured. And Kiki ends up telling where Blade's gonna be heading to, so she's gonna be going there. And yeah, so if you've seen this episode, it's a freaking, I don't know what that is. It's kind of big. If you've seen this episode, leave a comment below and tell me what you think of this episode. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back and leave a comment. Rate me, subscribe to my channel. It's been the Breakmaster, Blade episode 9 review. And until then, break out.